Airway and breathing course, finishing up on the ET tube unit. Now we're talking about securing the ET tube, which we've talked about sort of before, and so this will be a real quick one. Remember that your right hand holds the tube, your left hand holds the laryngoscope blade. Doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. It always works that way. So you use your right hand to place and hold that tube until it's secured with an ET tube holder. If you're going to use your right hand for something else, then your assistant's got to understand that that ET tube can't move, and to confess if they do end up letting it move. That placement is critical, and so I just don't trust it to anyone else. I hold my own tube until it is secured. How do you secure it? Well, knock yourself out with any of these things, commercial ET tube holders. Some people love them, some people hate them. I'm one of those people that can't stand them. I love that twill tie. We make it out of umbilical tape and some suction tubing, and it just simply doesn't move. It doesn't move for puke. It doesn't move for blood. It just doesn't move. Plus, I can still get in the mouth to do some other stuff. But that's my own personal bias. Before we had those, I was using tape. I hate those commercial tube holders, but you know what? They're very common out there, and a lot of folks love them. So I'm just spewing opinion here, but I want to make sure that you see a number of different ET tube holders and securing options in your course. The depth of insertion is based on the markings on the ET tube, and we talk about insertion to the teeth or the alveolar ridge, the gum line if they don't have teeth. And so we usually measure that tube at the teeth, and we put an ET tube holder on top of it, and now we've lost our mark. So be sure that you're documenting and talking about where your tube is at the holder. So you say it's 22 at the teeth, and you put the ET tube holder on, and you say, all right, we're 24 at the holder, 24 at the holder, and everybody knows that. And so every time we move the patient, we check for tube movement, and we're looking for 24 at the holder. So just one of those little hints that kind of traps you when you're new at this. We like the C-collar. It's already in place if your patient's getting spinal motion restriction. We take the collar off to do the intubation. Then you put the collar back on over the ET tube holder. But it definitely does limit extension and flexion and therefore tube movement. So securing the ET tube is an important task.